You can consider them functional or decorative, or maybe both. A collection of quilts are currently on display at the Fort Walla Walla Museum in an exhibit called Fascinating Fabric Turn-of-the-Century Quilts. These quilts have been donated to the museum over the years from local families, and each tells a story of female ingenuity and creativity.
History is stitched into the fabric of this exhibit at the Fort Walla Walla Museum.
They are really representative of the times that they were made, especially with big events like wars or depressions. So you really see that in the techniques used and what their purpose was.
The museum has pulled out 20 of its finest quilts from the late 1800s and early 1900s.
The sewing machine is becoming more accessible for families. So some of these are machine stitched and some of them are hand stitched. They're also coming from some of them from the Great Depression, where it was, a good time to be economical and to reuse old scraps of fabrics.
That resourcefulness can be seen in the so-called crazy quilts and in this cigar flannel quilt, a popular craft between 1910 and 1915.
So every one of these flags is actually a cigar flannel, which was a material often wrapped around a cigar box, so that there was kind of a collector's element to the cigars.
Women also used the ribbons that tied stacks of cigars together. Some quilts, dating back to World War I, were auctioned off as a fundraiser for the war efforts and likely weren't used as bed coverings. Others were created for special occasions, like weddings.
A lot of the quilts that are in our collection are those more decorative, celebratory, special occasion type of quilts because they lasted longer, because they weren't used functionally as much.
Anyone wanting to visit the exhibit has until early August to see the quilts at the Fort Walla Walla Museum.
Now, these are only a small sampling of the quilts the Fort Walla Walla Museum has in its collection. The last quilt show at the museum was in 2016.